Sawadee Cub, Churn Cub, 2 men, 2 stories, 2 positive test results, 2 holidays absolutely ruined. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to tell you about 2 horror stories of people that have just recently arrived back here in Bangkok in Thailand under the new Thailand Pass 1-day quarantine scheme. Now, I don't want to take any credit for these stories. These stories actually come from a guy called Richard Barrow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I link absolutely everything in the description below. He has a Facebook page, Twitter page, and an online blog. Richard Barrow is the go-to guy here in Thailand if you want information on a daily basis. This guy literally knows everything, and he is a great servant to this country. So yeah, we're going to talk about 2 different stories of people that have recently arrived back here in Thailand. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is a family of 4 that have had an absolute nightmare. So this story, as I say, is about a family of 4, basically about the dad of the family. So it's a dad, a mum and 2 children, and the guy basically has come out here with his family and plans to come away. You know, heard that Thailand's opening, really excited, as is many of us, that Thailand is now able to allow people to come in without the stupid 14-day quarantine, and yeah, booked a holiday and hoping for the best that everything's going to go okay. Once they arrived here, everything seemed to be fine. They got to the hotel, checked in, and then they went and had their first test. Now, if you don't already know, basically you are tested once you arrive to the hotel, and then once that test comes back negative, you're able to leave the hotel and travel around Thailand freely and do as you please. Well, within reason. You have to wear your masks and clean your hands everywhere you go, but within reason. So they went to bed early on that night at 9 p.m. Actually, part of the story as well is they actually brought their own test with them and tested themselves during the day. Those tests came back negative, so the mum and the dad both tested negative. Long story short, they woke up the next morning to a phone call from the hotel saying the mum and the 2 children have tested negative, but the dad has tested positive. So the dad has tested positive, but the family tested negative, but that does mean that there's problems for both of them. Basically, the family are going to have to quarantine for a few days, and now the dad is going to have to go away to a quarantine facility because he has tested positive and be treated for COVID. Now, the guy has said that he actually felt fine, absolutely nothing wrong with him. Obviously had lots and lots of questions for the hotel, asking for some clarity on it. They're saying to him that he needs to go away to this hospital. He doesn't know anything about the hospital. He's asking questions to the hotel. The hotel are coming back because they don't actually know the answers. It's a new experience for them as well as for him, and he's just trying to get some clarity about the situation, right? He's just come on holiday. He's planning to be here and you know, have some good fun here in Thailand with his family, and now he's being told that he can't actually go anywhere and he's got to go in quarantine for 14 days. So after a lot of backwards and forward conversations, basically they told him what hospital he needed to go to, and he said that he did a review check on the hospital and it had 2.7 stars. He also had massive concerns about his insurance. Now, insurance is one thing that I always go on about here in Thailand, is to make sure that you have the right insurance. It doesn't matter whether it's about COVID or whether you get hit by a bike. Make sure you have the right insurance if you're going to come here to Thailand. So he got moved to the hospital, still isn't aware as of when this story was written about what's actually going to happen to his family, but as far as he's aware, they're going to have to stay in the room for 3 or 4 days at least and probably have another test. And then when he got to the hospital, he said that hardly anybody spoke any English. Now, that is an issue here in Thailand. People at the hospitals do speak English, but I don't know why. My experience is that they just kind of, I don't know whether they're shy about speaking English or whether they do it to make things a little bit harder for you. I don't really know. But yeah, like, he's just having massive issues with the communication there. They showed him a 300,000 baht bill. They told him that it's going to cost him about 5,900 baht per day to stay there whilst he's getting treated, and they also told him that he needs to take a specific tablet which is going to cost between 10 and 15,000 baht to treat his lungs. Now, this guy said that he feels absolutely fine, absolutely no symptoms whatsoever. After a bit of backwards and forwards communicating with the doctor and the hospital, they basically told him the reason why he needs to take these tablets is because he's in the high risk factor, because he's over 90 kilograms. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but you know, as you can imagine, he's already been shown a 300,000 baht bill, and now he's being told that he's got to take 15,000 bahts worth of pills. So basically, as things stand, he's now in that hospital. You know, his family have got to quarantine for 3 or 4 days. He can't be with his family. He's worried about if his insurance are actually going to pay out or not, and it's just become an absolute nightmare for the guy. What was going to be an amazing holiday for him and his family is now probably turned into what's going to be the worst 2 weeks of his life. It is no joke coming to Thailand right now, right? It is not the easiest thing in the world to do. Now, I made a video a couple of weeks ago about, you know, reasons why I think you should and shouldn't come to Thailand. And in that video, I got some real negative comments about, oh, you don't want Thailand to open, and I'm a business owner, you're talking bad about Thailand, blah, 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 blah. I've not had any money for 2 years. Listen, I totally understand. I want nothing more than Thailand to be open, to be normal, for Thai people to make loads of money, for all the business owners to make loads of money. I want the world to be back to normal. The whole entire world wants the world to be back to normal. I didn't make the video about that. What I wanted to do was make a video and show people the true risks that if you come to Thailand, what you are taking. Now, there's a very, very high chance that you're going to be okay, but people will need to know the truth, and they need to know what they're getting themselves into if they do come here to Thailand. We're not traveling through normal times at the moment. We are still massively, massively in a pandemic. But let's stop ranting. Story number 2. So this next story is a much, much shorter one. It's about 2 lads that have recently come out here from England, and they've come out here to come and see their girlfriends / wives. Basically, they come out here together, traveled together, stayed in separate rooms at the hotel, had their tests, and then they both got a call at midnight. One to be told that he was tested negative, and the other one was told that he tested positive. Now, the one that tested negative, his name was James. James basically got told that because his friend had tested positive, he now has to stay in quarantine for 14 days. This was at midnight on the night of getting tested, right? So they got a call at midnight and was told, yeah, that's it, you've tested negative, you tested positive, one of you needs to go to hospital, one of you needs to stay in quarantine for 14 days. Again, they've had questions about things that they didn't really get answers to. The hospital that came to get the guy that tested positive, they didn't come until 7 p.m. the next night. So he's got to go away for a certain amount of days there. Does that start from 7 p.m. then, or does it start from before? Nobody really knows the answers to those things. But yeah, as things stand, he had to go there. And the guy, James, said that he hadn't got any answers from his hotel. He said that he'd even asked for tea bags and nobody had replied to him for about a day. There is a lot of hysteria and scaredness in Thailand, and like I think I can imagine the people that are working in the hotels, once they know that somebody in the hotel is tested positive, or they've been with somebody that's tested positive, they're probably scared to even go near that room or to do anything. And like I don't understand why he's struggling to get tea bags. But yeah, so yeah, he's been told that he's got to quarantine for 14 days. So again, that is another story of somebody that's come here. He hasn't even tested positive. His mate, he's obviously got an issue. He's got to go to hospital now for 14 days and no doubt pay it out of his insurance. I'm imagining that James is going to have to pay, I don't know whether that'll be out of his insurance or out of his own pocket, but he's now going to have to pay for an extra 14 days at that place that he's staying at the moment. And it's just, you know, an absolute nightmare for these people. The most annoying thing I find from the whole kind of situation from these 2 stories is there's no consistency in it. Like, why has the guy, the family of 4, why has his wife and kids only got to do 3 to 4 days quarantine? But the story from James is that he's got to stay for 14 days. Like, those stories don't even match up. Like, it doesn't even make any kind of sense. Then again, this is Thailand. I guess sometimes it just doesn't have to make sense. It is what it is, and I guess it's the gamble that you take at the moment if you come here on holiday to Thailand. So I want to end this video on a positive, and I also want to end it soon because the sun on my neck at the moment is burning like hell. But yeah, I want to end it on a positive. At the moment, there is only a 0.10% positive test result on people that have landed since this new scheme. So the positive is that there isn't many positives, if that makes any sense. But yeah, 0.10% is hardly anything. Now, we don't obviously have the figures for the people that have sat close to the people that have tested positive, but you know, obviously, you know, based on how many actual people have, there isn't going to be that many people that would be sat near them. So, you know, at the moment, things are looking okay. The chances are if you come here, you are going to be okay, but you do just need to understand that there are risks involved if you do come here to Thailand at the moment. But like I say, make sure you go and follow Richard Barrow. He's got a Twitter page, Facebook page, and a blog that he updates people on daily. He knows much more than I do. I'm just a bloody YouTuber. Make sure you go and check him out. He's a great guy, keeps everybody up to date here in Thailand. If you enjoy my videos, make sure you hit that like button, that subscription button, and drop us a comment below and let us know what you think of my videos. I also have a Instagram page if you want to go and follow me. I actually do daily vlogs on there, so you can actually see what I get up to in Thailand on a daily basis. Hopefully I will see you guys very, very soon right here in Thailand. I will see you guys on the next one. Sawadee Krap.